Take a moment, look back at your relationships, different people, different cities, different years, and yet, somehow, the same story keeps repeating. The same type of cold, distant partner, or the same type of controlling partner, or relationships where you constantly live with the fear, they will not love me. This is not a coincidence, and it is not just bad luck, either. Behind it is a powerful, scientifically backed mechanism, attachment theory. Over the next 20 minutes, we are going to explore why your brain keeps pulling you toward the same type of person, how this connects back to your childhood, the 4 attachment styles, and how to recognize your own, and most importantly, how to actually break the cycle. What is attachment theory? In the 1950s and 60s, British psychiatrist John Bowlby studied the emotional bond children form with their caregivers. He discovered that the type of attachment we form as infants creates a lifelong blueprint, one that shapes our relationships for the rest of our lives. Later, psychologist Mary Ainsworth conducted her famous strange situation experiment. She briefly separated infants from their mothers and observed how they reacted. From this, 3, and later a 4th attachment styles were identified. This is not just a childhood theory. Researchers later proved that these early childhood patterns are directly carried over into our adult romantic relationships. As children, we form answers to questions like, what does love look like? Am I worthy of being loved? Can people be trusted? And those answers grow up with us. So even if you are 25, 30, or 40 years old, the love map inside you may still be based on experiences from when you were 2 or 3. The 4 attachment styles. Let's go through each of the 4 styles one by one. Listen closely. You might recognize yourself, or maybe a past partner. 1. Secure attachment. This is considered the gold standard. People with this style experience stable, predictable care in childhood. Their caregiver was both present and emotionally responsive. As adults, these people are not afraid of closeness, but do not lose their independence either. Can discuss conflict calmly, trust their partners with low levels of jealousy or need for control, can express their needs without fear of rejection. Interestingly, roughly half the population has a secure attachment style, but this video focuses mainly on the other 3 since they are the main source of repeating painful relationship patterns. 2. Anxious attachment. These people experienced inconsistent caregiving in childhood, sometimes warm, sometimes distant, sometimes unpredictable. As a result, the child learns, love must be earned. It is never guaranteed. As adults, these people live with a fear of abandonment, constantly seek reassurance from their partner, feel anxious when a text goes unanswered, imagining worst-case scenarios, tend to lose themselves in relationships, becoming entirely dependent on their partner's mood. 3. Avoidant attachment. These people had their emotional needs rejected or ignored in childhood. Crying was not met with comfort, so they learned. I have to handle my needs myself. Depending on others is dangerous. As adults, these people unconsciously avoid emotional closeness, feel suffocated when a relationship gets serious, struggle to express their emotions, often keep distance from their partner under the label of independence. 4. Disorganized attachment. This is the most complex style, a mix of anxious and avoidant. It is usually linked to trauma or a chaotic, unpredictable childhood environment where the caregiver was both a source of comfort and a source of fear. As adults, these people want closeness and fear it at the same time. A come here, go away dynamic. Show unstable, unpredictable behavior in relationships. Struggle deeply with trusting, both themselves and others. Why do we keep choosing the same type? Now let's get to the core question. Why does an anxiously attached person, for example, repeatedly end up with avoidant partners? On the surface, it seems illogical. This is one of the most painful combinations possible. There are a few reasons behind this. 1. Familiarity is more powerful than safety. Your brain confuses good with familiar. If love was unstable and had to be earned in childhood, then as an adult, someone offering you stable, healthy love can actually feel boring because it is unfamiliar. Your brain recognizes drama, anxiety, the feeling of having to win them over, as love's true form. 2. Repetition compulsion. This is a psychological phenomenon, first described by Freud. Unconsciously, we are drawn to relive old, unresolved emotional wounds, this time hoping for a different outcome. If your father was emotionally distant, you might unconsciously choose emotionally distant partners, carrying a hidden hope. This time, I will be the one who finally gets loved. 3. The comfort zone exists in relationships too. Remember the homeostasis principle from our earlier video. The brain seeks stability, even when that stability is harmful. The same thing happens in relationships. A calm, healthy relationship can sometimes feel wrong, simply because it is not familiar. 4. Self-verification. If you carry a deep belief like, I am not good enough, you may be drawn to partners who confirm that belief. Strange as it sounds, the human brain sometimes prioritizes being right over being happy. Real-life examples. Let's make this concrete with a couple of real-life scenarios. Example 1. Example 2. See the pattern? The problem is not bad luck. The problem is your brain treating what is familiar as what is right. How to recognize your own attachment style. Ask yourself these questions. When you get close to a partner, do you feel more secure or more anxious? When a text goes unanswered, is your first thought, they are busy, or they are leaving me? When a relationship gets serious, do you feel an urge to pull away? When you are alone, do you feel at peace, or do you feel empty? Your answers can give you an early sense of which style you lean toward. But remember, this is not about labeling yourself. It is about understanding yourself. How to break the cycle. Practical steps. Now, the most important part, turning this knowledge into real change. 1. Practice conscious discernment. When the thought, I do not feel chemistry shows up, ask yourself, is this a genuine mismatch, or simply the absence of familiarity? Sometimes what feels boring is actually just a different name for safe. 2. Write down the pattern. 3. Therapy, specifically attachment-based therapy. 4. Build a new sense of familiar. 5. Build a healthy relationship with yourself first. So, if you keep noticing that you fall for the same type of person over and over, that is not a failure of your judgment. It is a map you inherited from childhood. But here is the good news. Maps can be redrawn. Understanding your attachment style is the first step toward change. Next time the thought, I do not feel chemistry shows up, pause for a moment and ask yourself, is this really a mismatch, or is it just unfamiliar health? If this video helped you, do not forget to like it. Next time, we are diving into the deep psychology of toxic relationships, manipulation tactics. Subscribe so you do not miss it.